time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. I got co-host Bryant Falconer in the studio with us today. How you doing today, Bryant?
Hey man, as usual, doing good.
Always, man. So let's talk about what we're smoking right out the gate.
Hey, go ahead.
Tell me what you got.
Hey, I got a Hoya Silver.
Man, I've been smoking a lot of those.
Bruh.
Dude, those are fantastic.
Hey, this is a great smoke, man. Everything from the appearance on down, man. That cold draw was perfect. I could taste a little peanut in it. And then I lit this thing up, man. It's just like I'm getting hit with everything.
And that's like a 6x46 box press.
Yes, sir. Soft box press.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And it really smokes good.
Oh, man. Perfect. And the aroma is just like...
I know. I let Deborah have one of those, and she was like, wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This will open your mind up. Seriously, guys. I'm tasting a lot of cocoa, and it's nutty, man. But when you retrohale, it's more peppery. So it's just like all three of them. I'm still in the first third.
And I'll tell you what. It's like an explosion of flavors all the way through.
Even with the cold draw, I was like, God, I was like, man, this has got a lot of flavors in it, bruh. Come on, man, I love this.
So, yeah, that's a great stick. And then I'm smoking a new one. It's Big Sky, and this is the Maduro Torpedo. This came in the Luxury Cigar Club box.
Yes, it did.
And I tell you what, this is a great smoke. I love the wrapper on it. It's a Maduro, which we're going to be talking about Maduros here today.
Yes, sir.
The draw on it is perfect. I really liked what they've done with the band.
Okay.
It's that, like, navy royal blue and then silver lettering with the mountains in the background. This company is actually, I believe, out of Montana. They've really done a good job with this cigar.
Yeah,
and
I haven't got mine yet.
Oh, you haven't
smoked it yet? No, so I'm going to listen to what you say.
I really like it. Right now, right off the bat, it's just a little bit of hint of sweetness and a little cocoa.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm literally, maybe 2 puffs in. I'll let you know a little bit later on.
And we know how your puffs are.
Right? They don't last long.
No, sir. No, sir.
Have you smoked anything new over the last week?
I really haven't. And I was in Lubbock today, and I didn't even get a chance to go.
Oh.
Yeah, because everything was business today, so I didn't get a chance. I actually planned to go there to the what's the name? To Good Karma, but it was just like everything happened so fast. By the time I got done doing my work, it was 4 o'clock, and I was like, oh, it'll be after 6 by the time I get back to Abilene. So I just rolled on out, man.
See, I've never gone to Lubbock and not gone by the shops.
I couldn't help it. I
understand you were pressed for time,
Yes,
but see,
sir.
I schedule my work around that, and it's like, I got to go in and get my work done, and then either I'm going to be leaving Lubbock in time to go by, or that's where I go for my lunch.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And because lots of times whenever I know I'm going to be leaving late, I'll go have my lunch, I'll pick up a drink, go by there and sit on their sofa and smoke a cigar and then go back to work.
You see, my lunch today was it was an entertainment thing. It was a few of us together, so I didn't have an opportunity to leave.
I get
and go
you.
Over
well,
there,
you should have taken everybody to the cigar shop. That would have been a winner.
Yeah, but some people are not.
You got to convert them, brother.
I tried. I've tried.
Just so everybody knows, tonight we're drinking a little bit of Buffalo Trace. Big boy over here is drinking out of a mug, and I'm drinking right out of the bottle. Well, let's talk about our sponsor right quick before we continue.
Bring them up.
We've got McAuliffe Cigars. Dude, are we blessed to have McAuliffe?
It is more than a blessing. It's one of those situations where you're like, how did I get this lucky?
Right. I mean, these guys are fantastic. I mean, they have a huge line of cigars.
And
I think now they're up to 15 different cigars in their line.
And the 10 that I've tried have been outstanding.
Absolutely. And I want to say that out of the 15 they have, I've smoked about 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I'm working on the whole line. But right now I'm kind of hung up
on that
the Medallia.
Yeah.
Dude, that Corona Extra Medallia, I'm not going to lie, I've had 3 of them today.
Every time I see you have one. It may not be the first smoke, but somewhere in there, you're going to have a medallion.
Today,
in your hand.
I had 3. And every time Paul would come in there, he'd be like, hey, what are you smoking now? And I would show him. He's like, you're smoking another one of those? And I was like, dude, I can't get enough of them.
Yeah.
And Ed, he smoked 2 of them today.
Okay.
And then we're just sitting there going, man, I don't know of a better cigar.
That one is a star in their lineup.
Man, and I tell you what I love about it is it's a great medium profiled cigar, but it is exploding with complexity from beginning to end.
That's what I was getting ready to say, because throughout the entire stick, it's exploding.
And me and Ed were talking about today, and it was like the first 2/3, you're thinking, man, this has got all these great flavors. And then on the third, you're like, holy crap, where did that come from? It just got better.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's like,
sir.
I don't even know how that's possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think it just comes down to quality and geniuses at blending.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you know, and I used to be all about the big, powerful smokes and all the big, bold flavors, and I still like those from time to time.
But when it comes to complexity and your palate starts to change just a little bit.
Yeah. They really knocked that one out of the park.
It's just like Blanco said, it's about the blender. When you understand what you're putting together and you have a vision of what you want out of it, they hit a home run with this one.
And you know, I think, talking about blenders for a minute, you know, I think that's why a lot of blenders had a lot of success early, like the beginners, because basically they went down to Nicaragua or Honduras, and they basically blended a pepper bomb, and people were like, holy crap, this is great, you know, and I enjoyed a lot of those. But then when you mature your palate and you start enjoying the intricate blends, now it's not about your gringo that goes down there and blends a pepper bomb. It's about someone who actually knows what they're doing to create a complex profile.
Blending those leaves together to create a profile that hits a palate to the point where you start to taste certain things, you start to understand certain things about the blend, and understanding that, hey man, it's not about the pepper bomb.
Right.
It's not about getting hit hard. It's about sitting back, enjoying a stick, and really enjoying a stick.
Absolutely.
Man, like I said, in the beginning, it was all about the smoke. But as I grew, I was like, man, these things started to taste great.
Right.
I started tasting different things. I was like, is that peanut?
And you know, the thing about it is, too, is when you are at that stage of your smoking where you like the pepper bombs, you have a ton of cigars to choose from, because a lot of them are just that simple pepper bomb. And, you know, I look back at my experience and the growth stages that I've been in, and it's like, at first, I was the 6x60 because I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, El Presidente.
Right. And, you know, well, no, I was the boss, you know. And you know me, I look like a boss, right? So, and then from there, it became, I didn't enjoy smoking what was back then, was just crap.
Yeah.
And so I stepped up to a little bit better than crap.
You grew.
I grew a little bit. And then I tried a pepper bomb, and I was like, holy crap, this is what a cigar's supposed to taste like, because it just knocked me for a loop. And so then I was like, this is a cigar. And then after a while, I was like, okay, I don't like the 6x60 anymore. I want a more tolerable size, because, you know, that 6x60 is big.
That's a smoke, man.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't enjoy those hardly ever. Now, I will say I smoked a Flathead 660 not long ago.
Yeah.
Great smoke.
When we were back there at the leaf in the back,
Yeah, and so I enjoy those every now and then, but that's not really a 6x60 because it's that box press. So it kind of narrows how big you have to open your mouth to put it in. So, but anyway.
But you're a talker, so it doesn't matter.
Right. But then after that, I slowly started, and you know what? One of the biggest drivers was me really expanding my horizons. McAuliffe.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. Because when they brought in the Grande Bold line at the Leaf, so we had the Machfina, we had the Sumatra, we had the Ligero, we had the Maduro, we had the Connecticut, and I've smoked all of those. And what I loved about that journey was, I was like, wow, that's an interesting flavor. And then I'd smoke a different one and be like, oh, that's an interesting flavor. So I credit the McAuliffe line being brought into the Leaf to really expand my palate. You know what I mean? And now that they've brought in the Medallia, it's like drop the mic. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I started off, as we know, with the Monte Cristo, but my palate grew as I had to, because there was certain...
Because I was always busting your balls.
No, it was actually started before that. And like I said, I would have to travel either back home to St. Louis or down to Harker Heights, Killeen area, to get a stick. So it was like I wasn't getting what I was used to, so I had to try different things. And that's when, like you said, just your palate starts to grow. you notice certain things. You're like, oh man, that tastes good. And then you try another stick and you're like, wait a minute, where did that come from? The pepper bombs weren't getting me anymore.
Right.
So it was like, as I grew, and then when I got to the leaf and I met you, and your thing with me was like, you know, try this. And the more I tried, the more I understood that there are different blends to it. There are different tastes, and understanding that a stick is not just to knock you out. It's to be enjoyed. It's to truly be enjoyed.
Yeah, right. From beginning to end.
All the way through.
And when you find a cigar that you enjoy from beginning to end, dude, you don't want to let that go.
You keep going back, like with Larry with that steel horse.
Oh, he loves those. Yeah, and that's a great smoke.
You can't get him out of a steel horse, man. So,
but I'll tell you, he also really enjoys those Casa Fernandez, the Aganorsa leaf.
That's what he had the other day.
Yeah.
He was sitting back. He's like, he has about 30 steel horses.
Yeah, because I turned him on to the Aganorsa leaf.
He's like, now these two, he said, I just don't know which one. But that's the beauty of growing.
And so you know what I got to get him to try now?
What's that?
Is the Medallia.
Yeah.
Dude, Tom Perini came in yesterday.
Yeah, you told me.
And we went back in the humidor, and he bought, I think, 6 Medallias on my recommendation, and then he also bought 6 of his 858s. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he's got the Medallias, and I was like, dude, whoever comes in, they're going to be like, dude, you know how to treat a guest. So anyway.
I love it.
All right, so a little bit later in the show, we're going to have Storm Boen on the line. Mm-hmm. He is head of the Cigars for Warriors. And I'm sure you guys know about that program. They donate cigars and send them overseas to servicemen and women that are protecting our rights, protecting the country.
Every day.
And it's just a great way to give back. So ask your local shop if you guys support the Cigars for Warriors. And if you're not, listen to the interview, and he tells you how to get in contact and how to basically get the foundation started so that your shop can be a Cigars for Warriors supporter.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, let's get down to it. We wanted to talk about, let's get down to business here. We want to talk about Maduros, and a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about Maduros. So this is going to be like a quiz show, and you're going to be the contestant.
Oh my God.
And you're going to, if you get every single question right, you don't get nothing.
You know, I'm not a all the time Maduro man.
I know. That's why I thought it would be fun, because you're not always a Maduro guy.
Yeah, you're going to stump me on this, man. You're going to stump me.
But you're kind of like that guy who likes a Maduro from time to time. So you're the perfect guy to educate, because a lot of people out there don't really know the ins and outs of Maduros.
That's true.
I smoke a lot of Maduros, and as I was reading these articles, I actually learned a few things. But I do see you smoke, you're smoking a Maduro now.
Yes, sir.
So, but, I did give it to him.
And I'm loving it.
So anyway, the first question is, are Maduros stronger cigars?
No.
You are correct. A lot of people think Maduros are stronger because they're darker. But you can have a very mild, medium cigar that's a Maduro.
Yes, sir.
The Maduro wrapper is actually, it becomes darker because of the fermentation process. They ferment it a lot longer. And so that's why a lot of the leaves that you find as a Maduro are like a Connecticut broadleaf or a Pennsylvania broadleaf, because they're a stronger leaf. And so when they put them in the fermentation, they can withstand a higher heat tolerance. Because when you put those in pilons, they actually get really hot. And so you have to rotate them.
Yeah.
But the longer you ferment them, the darker they become. So that's basically how the Maduro is made.
I'm 1 for nothing now.
You're 1-0.
1 for nothing now.
So do you know about the different types of Maduros?
No, not that. I need an education on.
All right. So you have like a Colorado Maduro, which is more your lighter shade.
Okay.
It's more of a dark natural leaf.
Okay.
It's not like dark brown or black. It's that medium dark. You know what I mean? And then you have the regular Maduro, and then you have the Maduro, which is also known as the double Maduro.
Yes, sir. Now I know about those.
And then you have the Oscuro.
Yes.
Now that's like, if it's black, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Did you see that new cigar that came in, the V19?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, that's a CAO. It's part of the Flathead series.
Oh, yeah, I'll be running to it then.
It is black.
Okay.
And Paul smoked one yesterday, and he said it reminded him of the Partagas Black cigar.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so, but it wasn't as bold.
Okay.
It still had that complexity of flavors, but it wasn't like over the top, punch you in the face type boldness. So the different leaves that we have for Maduros, I told you already, we have the broadleaf, which is mainly the Connecticut, and then they also use some of the Pennsylvania. Okay. But then you also have the San Andreas Mexican seed grown. And have you ever smoked San Andreas?
Yes, I have.
Man, I love those.
Yes.
You know, I haven't smoked a lot of those, but a lot of those do have that peppery, leathery.
And that's what I love about them, that peppery leather, that taste where it hits you, especially on the retrohale. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it'll really hit you too, though, if you're not careful.
Get your eyes watering.
Yeah. So then also, and I know you've had these before, the Brazilian.
Yes, sir.
Which is usually like the Montefina.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic. You've had the CAO Brazilian.
I love it.
Yeah, those are good. They're like a cocoa sweet. They're usually a thick, oily type leaf. I enjoy them. I want to say that CAO Amazon was that a Brazilian? I was thinking it was. Yeah. That's a really good smoke. That's probably my favorite Brazilian leaf.
I smoked that a lot. I actually smoked the leaf out of them at one time.
Yes, you did. And then finally we have the Habano. Yeah. And Habano basically is Cuban seeds grown in Nicaragua or Honduras or wherever. But just because it's called Habano Maduro, that just means it's Cuban seed.
We're getting educated.
So the last thing I want to talk about Maduros, and you probably noticed this before, you know it's an oily, thick wrapper.
Yes, sir.
So because of that, it's also usually a much slower burn. Okay. And that's one of the reasons that I enjoy them, because you know I'm kind of a fast smoker anyway. Being that it burns much slower, you can sit back and enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
For a lot longer time. So that's a few things we wanted to share with you about the Maduros. If you have more information that you would like for us to share, shoot us an email and let us know. We'll be happy to talk about that as well. We'll probably be talking, you know what, another cigar I wanted to bring up in future episodes is the Sumatra.
Yeah.
The Sumatra is a cigar that's not talked about a lot.
No, sir.
But man, when I smoke one, I remember why I love smoking those. You know what I mean?
Because it's an enjoyable smoke.
Man. It really is. We are going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll have the interview with Storm. So hang tight. We'll be right back. Hey guys, thanks for sticking through the break. We have a special guest from Cigars for Warriors, and we have Storm Boen on the line. How you doing, Mr. Boen?
Good, brother. How about you?
Hey man, I'm doing fantastic. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. We're a big fan of the organization. We do a lot of promoting of your organization. We kind of get on our soapbox for supporting the Warriors, and we also do the Cigar Rights of America. And those two kind of go hand in hand for us because we think they're both super important. Tell us a little bit of background about you. How did you get into cigars?
Well, I got into cigars like a lot of guys in the military, because there's a lot of phenomenal traditions around smoking a cigar. You got your dining ins and dining outs, and then you got combat, you got deployment, you have special occasions. Now for me, it really hit home when I was deployed. I would say really hit home with me when I was deployed in Iraq during the invasion. And primarily, a lot of that was, yes, I enjoyed smoking cigars, but it was more is that there was a lot of suicides going on during the invasion. And, I couldn't figure out I was trying to think of ways to keep my guys' morales up. And we were getting hit a lot, our team specifically. And so and that may not sound kosher, but I would make my guys smoke a cigar after a pretty bad day. And basically, I'd take my rank off. They knew for the next 2 hours, they could say anything they wanted to say. So it was a good morale booster. It was a way they could, let loose and say whatever they wanted. And so that's, for me, that really hit home. And I remember every cigar I smoked during that occupation. I couldn't tell you what I smoked yesterday, but I can tell you what I smoked back then. So, there's a lot of meetings. And so I was talking to a gentleman, as I was telling you earlier, named Ben Edmondson, and we were kind of comparing notes. Now, he was in the submarine days, back pre-nuclear days. So he was an old submariner. And it was pretty interesting. We were visiting that a lot of the same feelings and meaning of a simple cigar translated over our generations. But it was all the same. That was what was so unique and neat about it, is that he had some of the same experiences I did over something as simple as a cigar. The camaraderie factors, the enjoyment, the feeling like you're home, the closest thing to bring it home. So that was pretty neat, and that's how a lot of this started. And we started helping another gentleman who I use that term very loosely because he turned out to be pretty shady. So we decided, the volunteers we collected, to start our own organization.
I got you.
And that's where Cigars for Warriors was officially formed in May 2012. Now, like I said, we've been doing several months of already, what would become Cigars for Warriors, but we built our nonprofit, and then we did all the paperwork, and eventually became a 501c3 pretty quickly. The good thing about that negative beginning was it really put into the original 7 founders a real strong feeling about transparency, about being better than some of these military charities you see out there to this day. So that's always been something very important to us. Didn't matter how big we were going to grow, we were never going to do certain things. Go ahead.
I think the transparency is paramount for any organization, and to know you guys are helping the Warriors by doing what you do and remaining transparent, I mean, that adds so much value, and it makes people want to get behind you. So hats off for taking the high road.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's just, and it's not me. It's a whole team effort. It really is. I just happen to be blessed to be running it, but we have an amazing board. We've always had passionate volunteers, but I would say in 2019 we have passionate and extremely talented volunteers, which it makes a huge difference, especially when they're very proactive. The volunteer world, a good volunteer may only last you 90 days,
right?
And so we've had guys who are still with us since the very beginning.
No kidding.
I would say out of the 400 plus volunteers, we have at least, I'd say 25, maybe 27 volunteers that were with us since 2012.
That's amazing.
It blows my mind the way that we do. There's still 2 of us that are from the original 7 still on board, myself and Elaine Divinato. And then a lot of them have been there pretty much almost since the beginning anyway. So we have no salaries, something we're very, very proud of. Now, don't get me wrong. If I could afford to, have a couple of administrative assistants to pay them to do some work, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But in the day, we never wanted to be like another Wounded Warriors where someone's getting paid ridiculous amount of money to take care of our troops.
And I think people get behind you because they see that's not what it's about. It's actually doing something for the troops that, I mean, as a cigar smoker and someone who takes the time to enjoy a cigar, we want the warriors out there that are, supplying our freedoms to be able to relax and enjoy a cigar. And I think that, I want to ask you, when you see the cigar community, do you just feel like the cigar community is just such a great community because they want to support the troops?
Yeah, I would say, one of the things that, the cigars are great for me, but what has always got me hooked is, 2 things. One is, man, you can study cigars the rest of your life and never learn it all. But 2 is the whole, as you said, community. The community, it's an amazing community. The support we've gotten has been amazing. You really got to think about when we got our peak years was in late 2015 and 2016. We were hitting 35, sometimes 40,000 cigars a month. Now that's when I had probably 85% of the cigar manufacturers behind us. Then when the deeming came out in August of 2016, by our January 2017, we literally was the worst month in our history of CFW. We only shipped out a little over 700 cigars.
And is that because the law had changed?
Yes, because we just lost pretty much all our support. Then you had a lot of bad information being put out that no one could donate cigars, that retailers couldn't donate cigars, and there was a lot of bad information being put out. So we had, basically I had to turn a lot of things to different priorities. And now we're back up to 17 to 25,000 a month. We've had some lower months. We've had some better months. But that's literally coming from, I would say 70% of that's coming from our donation centers, which are primary, cigar shops. We have about, 20 non-cigar shops, but everything else is cigar shops. And when they do events or just the regular Joe walks in and donates a cigar, it doesn't matter if it's 5 or 500 cigars at the end of the month, they all ship it to our home location in Florida. And then we have our festivals like Cats Fest. We raised almost 4,000 cigars. Cigar Fest, we raised almost 2,800 cigars.
Wow.
We have big clubs like the WHC in Houston, which is just, they're not a social media club, they're an actual physical club. And every year they have the month of September where they get a bunch of stores involved. They do this massive cigar drive. So it's what I'm trying to get at. It's the community that has made us survive that deeming, and we're already back up to great numbers. Now, it may sound sad that we're lost. We're down about half of what we were, but there is a silver lining to that. Is now that we're shipping a lot of coffee with it, video games, more magazines, cutters, lighters. So they're not just getting cigars. They're getting a lot of cigars still, just not as many as they used to get. But they're getting some other stuff too. They're getting the number 2 item that most, number 2 is always, when you do surveys, number 2 and number 3 flip-flop all the time. And that's coffee or video games. So I just figured it depends where you're at.
I got
If you get a lot of coffee shipped to you, probably don't, it's not important. If you're lucky enough to have some kind of gaming system, you probably a lot, really important. So we do ship out all that. Now, we tend to ship more coffee than we do video games, but none of it's consistent. So when you see our website, the only thing we're promoting are cigars. Now, we got a few things in the works right now with some gaming communities that want to get on board in a more permanent fashion. So now we're just looking for some coffee companies that want to be on more permanent fashion. Then we can actually promote that within the Cigars for Warriors organization. But I like to tell people that so they know it's just not cigars are going to our troops. It's getting their number 2, 3, 4 favorite items. And then you got great magazines like Cigar Press, Cigar Snob that are really behind us, supporting us. We got Tobacco Business, which just recently got behind us 100%. So in a lot of ways, the cigar industry is getting back behind us in a whole different manner than they were in the past, which when you're talking about government activism, which is very, very important, we're working on trying to get that exemption where the companies can go back and donating it. There's a element within Congress that do not believe our military should have cigars at all, to the point of even making it illegal for our troops to have it, and even down to having a piss test, see if you have nicotine in your system. Yes. This has been going on for about 7 years now. A couple of times we've been able to get in there and make headway of basically shaming some of these guys, stopping it. But when the FDA was asking, can we have an exemption, they said absolutely not. In fact, it was done on purpose. And point of fact, I don't believe it was ever done on purpose for this reason, because the deeming, all it did was put us underneath that 2009 tobacco policy, which was about cigarettes.
Right.
Why anybody would think that any cigarette company would donate cigarettes to a charity is beyond me, but that was the whole point of it. So we're working very hard at getting that fixed. So as you said earlier, CRA is very important. IPSPR, which is now, I guess, CPA, I believe.
Yes.
And then TPE. Those 3 elements, we're working very closely now with them. They finally realized that the Cigars for Warriors element is, at the end of the day, the cigar industry doesn't have the big money lobbyists like everybody else does.
Right, that's true.
I finally convinced them that they, hopefully they understand that we got to win the hearts and minds. And when you're talking about the number 1 requested item by our troops, and we can show that with physical data, that hopefully that should resonate with some of these guys. So it's been put in the bill. Congressman Castor has put the bill out now twice. I believe it's called 1584, and then we're trying to get the Senate to do the same thing in the Senate bill in S9.
Yeah, the Article S9 by Mark Rubio.
Right. Mark told me flat out that he was putting the exemption but we just learned recently that it's not in there. So we probably will have some big conversations pretty soon.
Well, good.
Anyway, so those are some of the big elements going on, and I'm just running my mouth at this point. What kind of questions you got?
Well, we appreciate the information. I mean, that's kind of information that is not easily accessible without hearing, excuse me for saying, but coming straight from the horse's mouth. We like to hear the details of what you guys have going on, and we, as a community of cigar smokers, can help promote that and actually have a voice because a lot of the guys that listen to this show will actually send out letters to their senators and Congress people. So anything that we can do to help, man, we're all on board.
Well, as you said, the one that we're we're working with TPE now and CRA, and they are generously donating their government program where that if you get on our website, and again, our biggest apology we always make is our website. It's going to be the first time in history we're actually going to pay someone to rebuild it. It's been our biggest weakness, but hopefully this gentleman, who is a pretty nice guy, is a pastor, and he's built USAA, so he knows what he's doing. With that said, is we're going to have it where Rob can get on there, puts his zip code in there, and then it'll generate a letter, and that way he can easily send it to his senator and his congressman. We're pretty excited about that because it's something that all our organizations can work together. We can link it all together where CRA can have the same letter for us as well on their website, TPE and CPA. And I'm excited that they're all finally working together as one unit. Before, it was very divisive.
Let me ask you this question, Storm. If someone goes to their regular local shop and they're not a supporter of Cigar for Warriors, what's the process on getting that shop set up to be a donation center? I know I'm in Abilene, Texas, and Jay at the Leaf recently became a Cigars for Warrior donation center. And, I mean, everybody at our shop just loves it because when you buy cigars, you can donate cigars directly, and then he sends them off every month. If someone has a local shop and they would like to pursue that, what steps do they need to take?
Well, two things is what we look for. Number one, we're looking for that volunteer to be an event coordinator. An event coordinator it is the heart and soul of what CFW is. That event coordinator, he or she is going to go and be a representative for that store. Now, in a perfect world, we'd have 3 for every store, just because life gets involved, and you don't know if that person can stick around for that month or not. And it's very easy. They could took as much work or not do much work. And I bring them up because a lot of times is what happens. We get a new event coordinator, and he or she will go to that cigar shop, as you said, down in Abilene, and they will say, hey, this is what CFW is about. Here's our paperwork. Here's what we ask from you, and here's what we're going to do for you. And it's very logical what we ask. It's all about, one, we want them to come out ahead. We want that company to make a lot of money off of us because, frankly, they get excited about it. A lot of them are doing it for the patriotism of it, but why not make good money? I mean, America's about capitalism. Make money while doing a good thing. I mean, it's a win-win. And then another big piece element is we do everything with checks and balances. There's always going to be that small holes that if someone really wanted to do something bad, they could do. We've been very blessed that, as far as I know, and I'm knocking on wood, we've never had anybody pilfer the donations. Now, we've had 2 different incidents where people who claim to be event coordinators walked into a store and walked out with the donations.
Really?
Now, both these stores also knew that they're not – an event coordinator should never walk out of a store with the donations. That's the responsibility of the store. That's one of our checks and balances. The manager, owner, someone who ships it to our location, it's in their dime. That's the only thing it costs them. Now, if you think about it, me and Rob, have you ever walked to a cigar shop and not bought a cigar?
Never.
You buy that one cigar, that pays for that shipping. So that event coordinator is usually paying for the shipping anyway. But we don't want that event coordinator, him or her, spending money any more than they have to outside of gas and time. That should be really it. We want them to have fun. So, again, we try to look for a win-win. But that's the first way. And once they do that, they're in the system. They can get a hold of Melissa. Melissa gets them inputted, and we get and then it gets put in the system. And that's one of our issues is the website should have that into a built-in system. We're hoping within the next 4 months to have it where Rob owns a cigar shop. Rob goes in there, puts his information, uploads a photo of the prescribed donation area, and then become a donation center that way as well. But for now, you either do it through an event coordinator, or you can contact Melissa Ford, F-O-R-D, and you can contact her by her email. All our emails are done by first name, followed by a period, followed by their last name, and at cigarsforwarriors.net. So in this case, it would be melissa.ford@cigarsforwarriors.net. So those are the 2 biggest ways of doing it. You get to the website, you can also contact us, and that'll go to our Director of Operations, Robert Allen. But at the end of the day, it's going to go to Melissa. She's responsible for that.
I can say she's all over your schedule too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Tell us, do you have any like events coming up, some cigar drives coming up? Maybe some people want to participate in that. How would they find out about your events and participate and donate?
Well, it's a couple of things. Number one, donate. You can donate anytime you want, either going by store or literally shipping it directly to our Florida headquarters. Or you go to an event, as you just said. We have some major events. We have regular cigar events. I know that we got the Drew Estate big Connecticut barn smokers this weekend. So the guys are going to that. That's one of our big cigar. All the barn smokers, a lot of proceeds go back to us. Drew Estate's been very, very generous with the barn smokers. Originally is designed for education and supporting Cigars for Warriors. So we come out very well as far as cash donations, and then we come out pretty well with cigar donations. So those are just examples. You got your major festivals: Cats Fest, Cigar Fest, Rocky Mountains Cigar Fest, the big Wing Ding down in Houston with Jorge, the Underground Cigar Festival. There's a lot of great ones that support Cigars for Warriors. The Texas Cigar Festival. But the best way is probably go to our page, Cigars for Warriors, and our guys RJ and Abigail Wilcox, they try to promote as many of the events as we get a hold of. The event coordinators are also supposed to go there and promote their events that are coming up. Again, it's one of our small failings. We're getting better and better at it. But at the end of the day, we have volunteers who, they have 40-hour plus jobs. They have families. So I'm pretty proud of the ones we have. They're, RJ himself, God, he works his ass off in his private job. He probably puts another 20 hours a week on top of that for Cigars for Warriors.
That's awesome.
So it's crazy when you think about having a home life, having children, having a job that you're basically the manager, and then turn around and donate all that time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of dedication.
Yeah, you have Danielle Lombardi, who does, on average 30 plus hours a week. You get Melissa Ford, she manages her own cigar shop, assistant manager, and then she has kids, and then she's still putting 20, 25 hours a week.
Wow. Robert
Allen, our director of operation, who answers every single email, and then he's also one who packages every single box, ships every single cigar. He accepts every single cigar and makes sure they're all good conditions. If they're dried out, we have special coolers to slowly rehabilitate them.
Nice.
We don't ever send damage, but we are very good at rehabilitating. A lot of guys don't know how to take care of their cigars. Nothing negative. Sometimes people donate them because they are dried out.
Right.
It's just the reality of things. So you got to imagine the dedication it is to do that, to count every cigars, accountability, designate the value of each one of those cigars. And now we have values, meaning small, medium, and high. We don't try to give them exact dollar amounts, but when we do our fiscal reports, we assign a dollar amount per those three categories. And that's, so if you ever read our 990s and you see this large number like $1 million, that's not cash, trust me. That's the value of our assets, meaning the cigars, the coffee, etc.
I got you.
I wish we were getting $1 million a year, but we're running about $10,000 to $12,000 a month on expenses. And that's pretty much primary shipping and all the little shipping costs around that, and little third-party programs that just nickel and dime you. People always seem to want to know that question. We've had months where it's been down as 5,000. We've had months we've been higher. Something we're very proud of, by the way, which a lot of people don't know, is that there's an organization called GuideStar, which just merged with the other premier watch group for all nonprofits. So GuideStar.org and this other organization, I apologize, forgot the name of it, merged together. So pretty much the top two premier watchdogs for nonprofits merged together. And they have categories. One, they're the ones that broke the news out about Wounded Warriors, where, only half a penny in 2016 of every dollar donated went to the troops.
Wow.
So you don't want to be on the negative side of that organization. But to get on there, the positive side is pretty hard. And they have levels all the way from bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. We hit gold status, and we got an email saying that only 0.5% of nonprofits ever make it to gold. and you can lose your status as well.
Well, congratulations on that.
Even bigger news, we made platinum. We don't know the
Wow.
stats of that is, but trust me, we had to give every bit of information you can imagine. I had to give my underwear size, and I had to confirm it twice. So,
well, hats off for running a great organization. I know it's not just you; it's everybody involved. And I mean, to reach that level, platinum is an accomplishment in itself, and it really goes to show the amount of amazing work that you guys do for the troops.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this. We're very, very excited about this. In July, we hit the 1 million cigars shipped out to our troops.
Oh, wow. No, I did not know that.
So we were very excited. In fact, that we actually made one of those, like a Willy Wonka golden ticket, and put it in the box.
No way.
One of the guys donated, I think, a box of Liga Privada A, the two big long Liga Privadas, and he donated a box of those, so that would be the 1 million cigar. And we doubled up the number we normally did. We put some nice stuff. So whoever the gentleman was, and again, it wasn't designed by any means who it was going to be. It was that person's time, and that person got that box.
That's awesome, man.
So we're very excited about that.
Tell us, I mean, you've been in the field as a soldier, even in wartime, and what does it mean whenever you get the mail call and it's a box of cigars?
Well, in those days, my cigars for wars was my wife, and now I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't the insane enthusiast as I am now, but they still meant a lot to us. And for me, it meant a little bit differently as a leader. It gave me a tool to use for my men's morale. Now, with saying that, I thought I was in a unique situation, but I wasn't. Kind of find out it's almost normal what happens on a daily basis is that they'll build these really cool shacks that are basically cigar lounges. And the rules is no rank, a lot of times no blouses, no hats. Meaning is you go in there and it's an open forum. You don't worry about rank. And then, so you got that 2 hours of downtime. One of the guys basically said, it's a first line of defense for PTSD. So it simple saying thank you, which is what we started this it became so much more. And I wish I could tell you a lot of these letters, and we have them all over the place. I just always feel like it's over the top if I tell you some of this. But one of the letters I always thought was great was there was a mom, and she started out saying, I despise all things tobacco. I think people smoking tobacco are idiots. It just went on and on about tobacco. But then she said, I want to say thank you to Cigars for Warriors being such an organization, because my son received her cigars, and she went on and on what it meant to him. So for having this lady who just despised all things tobacco turn around and say thank you because what it meant to her son was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Another stat we really like, and at least I like, is that, out of the 8 years we've been doing this, we've had 9 months of more female requests than males.
Really?
And I say this because you think about the number of females in combat versus males, then you think about we've had 8 months or 9 months more than male requests. That's saying some serious numbers.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people don't realize it's a both male and female number one request. Like I said, we have the empirical data to back that. We did 3-year survey. We're not doing the Gallup polls where you only have a pool of 500 people. We did 3 years, and this is a different social media communities off the website. Every guy that did a request. It was a long one that Ben Edmondson did, and it was very, very detailed. So we're very proud of that fact, because I happily can say that out loud, that it's the number one requested item. Now, don't get me wrong, there's guys out there who don't smoke cigars at all. There's men and women who smoke cigars only in combat. But I can tell you this, when you do smoke a cigar there, you will remember every single one. I can tell you, so there's some of these cigars I had in certain situations in 2003 that to this day I may not really enjoy it on a normal basis, but I'll go back and smoke every one of those cigars because it meant something to me. So I don't know how else to, amplified that feeling. It's just, it is really a touch of home.
Jay Patterson at the Leaf, he's a real special owner of a shop, But anyway, we had a Vietnam vet come in, and he remembered a particular cigar that he smoked with his men, and they were going to be getting together in a few weeks. And Jay searched the internet and found the only box of these cigars that he could find coming out of Korea, and ordered that box and gave it to him as a gift, so that when they had that reunion of soldiers, they would have those same cigars.
Yeah, you just can't imagine. I mean, but yeah, I mean, any good cigar smoker realizes that, your mood actually affects the taste of that cigar.
Absolutely.
So when you're dealing with when you're dealing in an environment where you have such high emotions and thought processes going on, that cigar takes on such a more significant value of just a thank you. And like I said, we didn't do this for any other reason when we started this, but say thank you. We are all very proud and pleasantly surprised that it took on such a greater meaning. The letters we've gotten are just, some of them are, even choke me up. And I was
going to say tearjerker on you, are they?
Yeah. And it's something as simple as a cigar. We never imagined to ever have any other effect besides us saying, this is our way of saying thank you guys for what you're doing for us.
Well, hey man, we want to say thank you for taking the time to join us, Storm, and thank you for your service, and even more so, thank you for what you're doing for the men and women who serve this country every day.
Well, it's because you guys that support us that makes it happen, and I appreciate y'all's support. It means the world to us. I can't wait to, maybe we should do an event one day. I think that'd be a great time.
It's funny that you should say that, because we haven't actually made the official announcement yet, but I guess this would be a good a time as any. We are actually planning a West Texas Cigar and Bourbon Fest in Big Spring, Texas in 2020, April 18th. And I was definitely going to reach out to you guys and make sure that we can have you guys as a part of that.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything committed April 18th. I'm pretty good the first of the year. So that'd be great. Let's get that on the calendar and let's make it happen.
Yeah, and I'm sure Brent and Camilla down at the Train Car Cigar Bar in Big Spring.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be hosting, and so we're really just starting to get that underway. I'm actually doing all the planning for that. So just kind of a spur-of-the-moment announcement. We will be doing a West Texas Cigar and Bourbon Fest there in Big Spring, Texas in April. So you guys that are listening, make sure you put that on your calendar, because we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of different cigar vendors, and we'll definitely have Cigar for Warriors there as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll be, give me a holler anytime. We can visit that offline, and love to talk more about it. We'll get our guys involved to help promote it as well.
Sounds great.
It's all about I hate competition. I like more of a community environment of helping each other out. And as we said, our first priority always when we're dealing with our partners, you being a partner, is you guys come out a little bit ahead than we do, and it's a win-win for all. So
absolutely.
I'm excited about it. And let's get some of our, the best thing to do is meet one of our recipients. It revitalizes me. I burn out all the time, as you can imagine. And every time I meet one of our recipients, it just revitalizes me. So hopefully we get a couple of recipients down, and they can tell you guys straight out, as you said, in the horse's mouth, what it means to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've actually been talking to, I don't know if you know him personally, but Vic Anderson out of San Angelo.
Yeah, I know Vic very well.
Well, he's reached out to me, and we've talked about getting you guys involved for that event. So we're excited to be working with you guys, and he's an asset for sure. And so next time I'm up in Lubbock, I'll reach out to you, and we'll have to go have a cigar as well.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great, brother.
All right, man. Well, hey, Storm, we appreciate you taking the time, and everybody appreciates what you're doing for the Warriors. And if you need anything from us, man, feel free to reach out at any time.
Thanks, buddy. Y'all have a great evening or great afternoon. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Thanks, Storm. Have a great day. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the interview with Storm. We sure appreciate him coming by and taking the time to visit with us. We love the work they're doing. I hope you guys will take time to support them. And also, while we're talking about support, let's jump on board with the FDA fight with Cigar Rights of America. If you haven't signed up for them, go by. There's links on our website. Takes you over there. You can sign up. It's $25 for a year. They send you 2 premium cigars. And I can't think of a better way to stand up for your rights. And did you see this? The FDA has decided that they're going to start putting photographs on tobacco packages with like people who have these birth defects. Have you ever seen that?
No,
dude.
Man.
It is horrible. And you know what? It's like, to me, that covers up the beauty of the art of the cigar box.
Yeah,
and
it's those scare tactics again, man. You know, I don't know what to say about it. I really don't.
Yeah,
really
that just passed this week.
Oh,
so I don't know all the details behind it, but I know Glenn Loop from Cigar Rights of America posted it on LinkedIn yesterday, and it showed like a cigarette pack, and it had a picture of, you know, like a kid that was born premature or something like that. And
but who's to say that kid was born premature because of cigars, tobacco?
Well, you know, that's not my issue. My issue is it has no place there.
And that's what I'm talking about. You know, you're using a scare tactic to draw people away from it, but it's, to me, it's not effective. It doesn't get the message that you're trying to get across.
Really, it pisses me off.
Yeah, because
I'm offended. You
That's
know
why I
what?
say I don't have nothing to say about
you know
it,
what?
man.
You know, in a day and age when people being offended should mean something, because I offend people all the time. But now I'm going to say I'm raising my hand because I'm offended.
You're offended.
Take it away. Get it off. You're offending me.
Treat me like you treat everybody
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
I got you.
It's the time of the show for this week's Luxury Cigar Club giveaway.
Yes, sir.
And we are, let's hit the button. Okay, guys, we've got a winner.
Okay.
For this week's Luxury Cigar Club. It is Tim Rickman.
Tim Rickman.
Congratulations, Tim. You're this week's winner of the Luxury Cigar Club box, and you'll go by their website, select the Platinum Club.
Yes, sir.
And then when you go to checkout, you just put in this code, and bam, it's free.
We're going to send you the code so you can get that free box.
And it's like going to be Christmas for you. Hey, so let's talk about what you have to do to actually be a winner on our show.
As all you have to do is go and register. It's just that easy.
You go to www.cigartalkpodcast.com, look for the link that says register. You click on the link, bam, it pops open, and all you do is put in your first and last name and your email address, and you're done. And now you're entered in every single drawing that we have, not just, you know, for the week that you sign up, but every week. And we've got some special things coming up. Now, I also wanted to let you guys know, for those of you that are Patreon members, we are going to have a drawing next week, and I'm going to have a special gift for those guys, because those guys are supporting us, and I just want to, you know, tell them thank you for what they're doing. And so next week we're going to have a special drawing out of the Patreon group, and they're going to get a pretty significant giveaway.
I'm not speaking.
I'm not going to spoil it. But next week, you guys that are in the Patreon group, you're not going to want to miss it, because one of you guys are going to win I'll just say a badass collection of cigars.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
Anyway, let's talk about McAuliffe before we go.
Yes.
You guys know that we are both ambassadors.
Yes, sir.
And you can also be an ambassador. All you have to do is go by our website, look at the link for this episode, and right down below it, you'll see a link for McAuliffe. Click on the link, go by, and register, and they will send you your very own medallion. It has your own number on it. And then also they send you a handwritten certificate.
Yes.
They do a ton of things for their ambassadors. If you join up on their Facebook private club, man, I'm in there all the time. It's a great community. You know, there's a lot of different cigar communities out there, but this one's kind of cool because it's not just a cigar smoking community.
Nope.
It's a McAuliffe community,
Yes, sir.
and and they interact with you right there in the community. You've got several of their official manager guys, reps. They all interact with us, and you can like tell them what you think about different cigars, events.
they listen.
They listen.
Yes.
And we just did a survey for them, and so, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do a survey. I tell you what, the reason they give you these surveys is so that they can make your experience better. And I appreciate that from a cigar company. You know what I mean?
That means that you're listening to me.
Exactly.
I have it's not that I have a purpose, but you listen. You understand that I am who you're trying to reach. And all you have to do is just listen to me, because my thing is, companies that don't pay attention, they lose out. they lose out. And McAuliffe pays attention to their people, their ambassadors, just fans.
Well, I think we've seen a lot of that with different cigar brands that were some of the mainstays 10 years ago.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're like, well, we're great, we're big, we just do whatever we want to do, and they'll like it.
And look at them now.
Right. I'm not going to mention any specific cigar companies, but there's some cigar companies that I just don't even look at their cigars anymore because they've lost me completely. We just want to say thank you to McAuliffe for sponsoring the show. We're so blessed to have such a great company sponsoring us. And, I know that people are like, oh, they're sponsors, so you're always going to talk good about them. That's not true. Nope. They are knockout of the park cigar company, but they're also good people, and they care about their ambassadors. Yes, they care about all of us, but they just offer so many opportunities for you to enjoy your cigar experience. So we're so thankful to have them. Hats off to those guys.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, guys, that's about it for the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next week,
keep smoking.